Hi all. Yes, it's been a very long time since I've done a video, so I apologize. I've had a lot going on, physically, mentally, trying to keep my job. So far they've been brilliant. Can't complain. So yeah, what I wanted to talk about, and I'm actually glad it's come up in the media, because it makes it easier to kind of address the situation, is the bullying. So I didn't get anywhere with my bullying complaints, even though in Fair Work there's a couple of things that I was entitled to do that I asked. I asked National Australia Bank for their bullying policy, never received it. Fair Work also says that if you've claimed that you've been bullied, no one can tell you that you haven't been bullied, and to stop to be wary of constantly investigating the person who has said that they've been bullied, which was me. So they kept asking me questions, kept sending me emails, kept trying to call, instead of actually investigating the bullying accounts, which I put in bullet point factually. There was even a sexual harassment situation, and sexual harassment is actually not what we're all taught at work. If a colleague, same gender as you or not, starts discussing a sexual encounter and you don't actually want to hear it, and you haven't made any any converse or asked any questions or put your head in to say, hey, include me in part of the conversation, it's actually sexual harassment, and it only has to happen once. It doesn't have to be an ongoing thing. So there was an explicit story that I didn't want to be a part of. I'd already heard it around the office, and I was like, okay, that's enough. I'm not going to hear anymore. And then they came directly to me and relayed the story, and I didn't give anything that indicated I want to hear a part of it. And then I was also told that the person this story was about, that their husband was coming into the branch the next day and not to say anything. So anyway, so all the people that I have submitted this to complained. There's no accountability. So in corporate, next time you do an online bullying compliance module, literally ask the question, is there a reason why I'm doing this? Is there a point to me doing this? Because if there's no action taken when someone claims bullying, then why is it mandatory? And why aren't the executive team doing it? So obviously this week with tennis, it's also been highlighted. So everyone can call Novak Djokovic a sook or poor form or whatever, but he is the one claiming he's been bullied, and no one can take that away from him unless you know his life intimately, in and out, or like you know my life in and out, or you're a psychiatrist. Even then, you can't tell someone that they haven't been bullied or harassed based on their life experience, based on what they've gone through and what's molded them as a person. And he had a horrific time. He won the legal battle to stay, but then our government overruled and kicked him out anyway. And I'm glad he's called it out, and I'm glad he's actually said, I'm not talking to Channel 9, because if we don't stop bullying from an adult level, we're never, ever, ever going to stop bullying at a child or a school level. And it's a really, really big point, because we all complain about bullying at schools and the teachers not doing anything, young children committing suicide because they're being harassed and bullied 24/7 due to social media, etc. But until we acknowledge that bullying happens at an adult level, and we start doing things about it at an adult level, instead of gaslighting and using ad homs like, oh, he's a sook, or he can't take it, or it got lost in translation, then it's never going to change. Because we have to accept as adults that whether it's intentional or not, bullying can actually be unintentional. It doesn't have to be intentional. In my case, it was both. It was very clear. There was OH&S obligations. Like, basically, there was 2 tall chairs. I mentioned I had a sore back. I put my notebook and pen on one of the chairs at one time because I was going to observe instead of serving, because they never wanted me to serve for whatever reason. I get back from the bathroom and my book and pen have been moved off the chair, 2 sticky notes with their names on the back of the chairs. And I asked why was their names on the back of the chairs, because one of them didn't even work out of that branch full time. And they said, oh, so we know whose is whose. And then they turn around to me and say, oh, don't adjust them. That is a massive OH&S issue. Because if I need to adjust it for my personal safety or my personal physical needs, then that's a severe breach of occupational health and safety in Australia. But again, that even though this was all in the complaint, it got ignored. So I'm glad we're focusing on what's happened between Channel 9 and Novak Djokovic, because Channel 9 are doing exactly what the NAB exec team did to me. Oh, you know, it was just in jest, it got lost in translation, we didn't mean it, you know, it was just a bit of fun. No, it's not. Bullying, harassing is not fun, and it's definitely not fun for the person experiencing it. He's got every right to react the way that he has. And as far as him not having cameras in his box the other day, apparently Roger Federer has done it too, but no one complained about him not being accessible by the cameras. And secondly, if he wants to protect the privacy of his children, and he wants them to come, that's his business, because he does live a fair way away, and to be away from his family for that time is a bit ludicrous for some people to say, oh, you know, he should know what to expect if he's bringing his children. No. Like, there's, as a tennis player, as a sportsman, as a regular person, you can put boundaries in place on who and what is filmed. I'm very careful on social media what I post about any of my family, and it's generally with their consent. If it's not, then or they've already posted something similar. If that's not the case, then I'll think about it first and see what they've posted and see if it's okay, or ask them directly. So that's what I wanted to touch base on. I think years ago it would have been just knocked on the head as banter, and I don't think it's an overreaction. I think it's a proper reaction, and I'm glad that there's a light on adult bullying, and it's a conversation and it's a discussion that everybody needs to have, especially from the executive level of any corporation. Because if you don't have actual processes in place and you're just asking people to do a compliance module, then you need to really rethink your policies and make sure that people are safe in your workplace. And I did not feel safe at National Australia Bank, and I left and I didn't look for any work for I haven't even been back to the block where that was, because I'm actually scared that and anxious that I'm going to run into the person who was mainly behind this. And that's really sad, because we were actually looking at moving there because of reducing stress, costs, having acreage instead of a courtyard. That's why it's probably taken me a while to do this video. I'm still going through my health discovery. I've seen a second neurologist. Things haven't been good physically, and ended up in the emergency room again. But yeah, we might have some answers this year, hopefully April, when I see the neurologist again. And I need another MRI, so it'll be my 3rd MRI in like 12 months, which is not fun, especially if you're a little bit claustrophobic and anxious. not fun at all. But I do have some anxiety tablets. I might take some of them, or my THC oil before I go, because that helps me calm down. Alright, I've gone over 10 minutes, so I always say I try and stay under 10 minutes, but thank you for listening, thank you for following, thank you for subscribing. I do apologise, I'll try and be a bit more regular with my videos. Have a good day, enjoy the tennis, and go Novak.